everybody. Dr. Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me today on Wellness Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about how stress affects our gut health, and our immunity. So, before I get started here, it's important for you guys to understand when I'm talking about the gut, I'm talking about our intestines and our intestinal tract, our digestive system, particularly the intestines, the small and large intestines. So, if you are somebody who's experienced a large amount of stress, so let's say we're 3.5 months into um, quarantine letting up here, but a lot of us have had stressors. I'm going to just take these off because of the glare. Stressors, changes in life. Some of us are working from home and trying to double dip duty with our kids. Some of us are not getting as much breaks. We might be under financial stress. You might have lost your job. Whatever the case may be, pretty much everybody in the world right now, I'm sure, has some sort of stressor. Okay, but if we allow the stress to take over our lives, we're chronically stressed. This can absolutely wreak havoc on your immune system as well as your gut health. Okay, and let me explain this a little bit. So, what does the gut have to do with stress? Okay, your gut has these patches in them. They are some of the biggest patches that hold lymphoid tissue. Okay, so these are called Peyer's patches. They're in your small intestines. Okay, these patches help to decipher good from commensal from pathogenic bacteria. So if you have an overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria, your um, your GALT, which is called GALT, your gut-associated lymphoid tissue, is not doing its job. So what happens when you are stressed, and why do these two things go hand in hand? Well, we live in one body, so all of our systems function together. It's really important to understand that. But when we are chronically stressed, okay, what happens is our bodies will actually reduce the level of lymphocytes that we produce. Okay, so lymphocytes help us to manage our pathogenic load, to manage our fighting off pathogens and infections. And this actually, if you were on my page yesterday, you would have seen an article linking a higher amount of deaths in COVID to increases in stress and cortisol. Okay, part of that could be, there's many parts of that, but part of that could be to the reduction of immunity and ability to fight infection with higher levels of stress and adrenal issues, right? So remember, the more that you have stress, the more stress your body's under, the more inflammation that you have, the more your body is unable to keep down levels of inflammation and keep your immune system functioning well. Okay, and that's partially due to the gut. The other part of it is that your body goes into this like sympathetic nervous system hyperdrive. And so what your body does, usually there's two like automatic types of nervous systems, okay? So we have the wine and dine and we have the fight or flight. So one of them is the wine and dine, which is the relaxation, the parasympathetics. This is when we are really our body's more relaxed, our heart rate's lower, our blood pressure's lower, our digestion is kicking, our body's more relaxed. And so we're detoxing more, we're digesting more, things like that. When we're in the sympathetic or the fight or flight system, those systems actually just kind of switch. So your body will actually go into hormonal switches and start to reduce how much your body digests, as well as detoxes. All those normal, natural processes actually get slowed down. Where your body does shunt energy to is the stress response of preparation to fight or flight. You have a lot more hormone changes, your body produces more cortisol, your ability to fight infection goes down. So if you are somebody who has been not managing the chronic levels of stress you may be having, or you may be, a stressful job, whatever it may be, those chronic levels of stress are absolutely going to wreak havoc on your gut. Now, in addition to your body not being able to produce as much lymphocytes from your gut will actually start to have more pathogenic, a higher pathogenic load. Okay, so this is important because this creates a lot more problems. Okay, so when we have a higher pathogenic load, we have a low commensal bacteria, but a higher pathogenic bacteria in the gut, what we start to see is actually we start to see mood disorders. We start to see things that are, IBS. We start to see more bloating symptoms. Your body, where there should be a commensal bacteria and healthy bacteria that helps with repairing of the GI tract lining. Your healthy bacteria is there for your immunity, your modulation of certain neurotransmitters and building blocks of your brain chemistry, building blocks of your brain chemistry to determine good and bad bugs that enter your system. There's so many jobs there. Also, if you have a lower amount of those bacteria, you're going to have more opportunity, right? You're going to have more opportunity for pathogens to come in and kind of take over that landscape in your GI tract, okay? So it's important to understand. And so what happens when that happens? You say your pathogenic load goes up, okay? Your body doesn't have the room to colonize healthier bacteria, right? So you're not able to produce as much of the lymphoid response. We're not able to help with the immune system as much. But now we're actually having pathogens in our gut that shouldn't be there. We're not able to fight off the pathogens that are coming into our body, okay? And so some of the if you were somebody who had, gut dysbiosis, what would that look like? So if you are somebody who is having either IBS type symptoms, if you have anxiety or depression, if you have bloating, if you have a lot of skin issues, if you have sensitivity, or if you have an intermittent like diarrhea, constipation, those are all things that you have some sort of either gut dysbiosis or some sort of disruption within the GI tract, which could absolutely be linked to a decreased immune function for you. Okay, so it's important. It's amazing how the body really works together to adapt to the stressors that we put under it. So if you're under a situation where, hi honey, I'll be right there, okay? If you're under a situation where you're in chronic stress and you're not able to modulate that, you're going to be in the sympathetic nervous system response versus the parasympathetic, and your physiology is going to look different. Hey, can you give me a minute? I'm just doing a live video, okay? Okay, thanks, sweetheart. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, honey. All right. Okay. My daughter's down here with me. I hope that helps you guys understand how my sympathetic nervous system's definitely going off right now. So it's important to understand that if a little bit of stress, and eustress is different. So little amounts of stress is good. Stress from things like exercising, stress from things like things that are going to help with your growth are helpful. Those are good stressors. Those are things that make you better, that help you grow. And distress and chronic distress really, really amps up our body. Can you come out from under there and get anything? Okay. I'm going to have to end because my daughter wants my attention, but thank you so much for joining me today on Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to go try and modulate my own stress right now. I'm sure you guys can understand. This is not okay. This is not okay. I'll be with you in a second. You need to be patient, okay?
Bestie.
Make sure that you're doing things to modulate your stress and taking time for yourself as well. That's really important. It's really important to take intermittent times. Like earlier today, I went and just kind of like chilled out and just took some peace. Learning things to help modulate your breath is really important. Doing things to modulate and get into stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve will help a lot. Things like chiropractic, craniosacral, acupuncture, those are all things that help with the parasympathetic nervous system. So I hope you find that helpful. And if you guys have any other questions on this too, I'm happy to dive into this further when I have a little bit more peace and quiet around me. And I can think.
That's how we do that, guys. Isn't it? They do it for my mama.
Okay, thank you.
For my mama.
And yeah, comment below if you guys have any questions, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks so much.
Yep.